So here's an incredibly effective way to boost your energy and mood that might seem a little counterintuitive at first, but stick with me on this. And it's if you're feeling burnt out, give more. And so again, I know that sounds a little counterintuitive, but there's a particular type of giving, and I love the term, and it comes from Adam Grant's Give and Take book, and big fan of Adam Grant. And he describes otherish giving versus selfless giving and the energizing effect of it. And as you hear me describe the research, I bet you can think of examples where this holds true for you. I know I can. I'm just going to share a quick example after I share with you this research. So this is on page 175 of the book. And actually, before I read to you the research, this follows this wonderful story that he shares about this young woman named Conray Callahan, who was a member of this nonprofit called Teach for America. That's sort of like AmeriCorps, where teachers are trained and they go into inner city schools. And most of those teachers burn out after a couple of years because you can imagine it's really difficult. And she was burning out and felt really bad about how she felt about herself, her students, the whole teaching profession, et cetera. And her antidote was not to take more me time and recovery time, which again is kind of counterintuitive, especially because I'm a real believer in the importance of recovery time. But her antidote to that was to give more. But the key was to give in a domain where she was willingly choosing to give and where she could see the impact of her giving. And so it didn't feel like this thankless, nothing I do matters experience. So with that in mind, here's the research. Again, page 175. Psychologists Netta Weinstein and Richard Ryan have demonstrated that giving has an energizing effect only if it's an enjoyable, meaningful choice rather than undertaken out of duty and obligation. In one study, people reported their giving every day for 2 weeks, indicating whether they had helped someone or done something for a good cause. On days when they gave, they rated why they gave. On some days, people gave due to enjoyment and meaning. They thought it was important, cared about the other person, and felt they might enjoy it. On other days, they gave out of duty and obligation. They felt they had to and would feel like a bad person if they didn't. Each day, they reported how energized they felt. Weinstein and Ryan measured changes in energy from day to day. Giving itself didn't affect energy. People weren't substantially happier on days when they helped others than on days that they didn't. But the reasons for giving mattered immensely. On days that people helped others out of a sense of enjoyment and purpose, they experienced significant gains in energy. Giving for these reasons conferred a greater sense of autonomy, mastery, and connection to others, and it boosted their energy. And then Adam Grant goes on to talk about some other research that he's done with donation pledge solicitors in a call center, and then firefighters. So giving for these reasons conferred a greater sense of autonomy, mastery, and connection to others, and it boosted their energy. And this is something that in the research on human nature that I've studied over the years that really syncs up with that. Those are three of the biggest drivers of human motivation: autonomy, mastery, and connection with others. In other words, the more an employee's work experience satisfies the need for autonomy, the need for mastery, and the need for connection, the more engaged, the more productive, the higher morale the employee will experience. So what does that have to do for you and for me? It's one of the most powerful ways of boosting our energy level and our mood and strengthening our resilience is looking for opportunities to give willingly. So whether it's offering to help somebody out or maybe even more importantly, just simpler, giving a few minutes to lend a listening ear to somebody, giving a compliment, uh, giving the gift of letting somebody know you see them. So saying like, "Hey, Joe, love the way you, lightened up the meeting yesterday," or really appreciate how you always um, are able to see the possibility in difficult situations, or I love the way you said such and such. So simply the gift of seeing somebody. So looking for opportunities to willingly give is hugely powerful way of boosting energy, mood, and resilience.